So AEW happened. It's AEW Dynamite and AEW Collision review. So Collision is happening rather than WrestleMania week, which is good. That's a good thing because then it's gonna be a problem. Um, yeah. So they are on Thursday. So let's just first talk about the big news before we get to the reviews. So AEW has officially surpassed WCW's record. They surpassed the record of the longest tenure on TNT, TBS, on Warner Bros. Network, basically. So they surpassed the WCW record. WCW only had Monday Nitro being on TNT for 280 episodes. Now AEW has surpassed it with now 289. This is really no different than what's going on with TNA, where TNA they were able to have more episodes than WCW. The only reason why, listen, no excuses for WCW really, but like at the end of the day, what people need to understand, the only reason why AEW is still alive, or at least still with TNT at Warner Bros., is literally because Tony Khan is spending his own fucking money to keep AEW on television. Because of his own daddy's money, he's able to keep the show going. Okay? It's because of, you see, Warner Bros., with their decision, they could easily have them no longer be part of TNT. Okay, they can. But because they're pressured by AEW, and it's really also because NBA decided to no longer be part of Warner Bros., they're lucky to still have a home with TNT. Okay? That's literally why. But because Tony Khan likes to, act like he's better than Eric Bischoff and all that kind of shit, act like he's the best booker, his markiness, that's literally why the AEW had this long tenure, especially with TBS, TNT. But again, you really think about it, AEW didn't really have, or first of all, Dynamite is not even on TNT anymore. It's on TBS, for crying out loud. So this is really just kind of a false record lie. If you really think about it, WCW is still the one that still has the longest record. It's just, again, Dynamite has the longer episode. They had more episodes. But again, they had to switch to TBS, for crying out loud. So the whole bullshit about, WCW. Again, it's not like WCW got demoted to TBS. They literally, AEW got demoted to TBS. So you can't fucking say that, they were the longest tenure, really. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. So it's really a lie if you think about it. And again, it's all just done out of bullshit. And it's not like, if generally WCW was, again, you have to understand, if AEW and Tony Khan didn't have that much money, they would have probably been kicked out of Warner Bros. Or again, it would have been kicked off Warner Bros. It's all bullshit. So shut up for people are saying that, WCW got beaten by AEW. Again, it's like comparing something like dead. It's sad. It's sad that people literally have to use a dead company to compare, like, why it's better. The company's dead, for crying out loud, okay? Got bought out. But again, the only reason WCW, unfortunately, no longer exists is literally because of an AOL buyout. That's literally why. It was not because of Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo. It was an AOL buyout, and they didn't want WCW or any wrestling show on their channel anymore. Simple as that. Okay? AEW and Tony Khan better be thanking the fucking silver spoon they have, because if you really think about it, it would not have lost if it was in the same business as WCW. Let's be for real. Let's talk about Diamond. This baboon. Oh boy. I'll get all the sparks to be angry at me. Anyways, Mercedes Moné defeated Ember Moon, Athena, whatever, into advance to the finals of the Heritage of the Women's Cup. Bullshit times. Toni Storm was there also. What a faggot has a trans freaking flag. So they had this show in that hall, which is probably better for them. I don't know. There was more. I will say the crowd was definitely, there was a lot of energy in the show, which is definitely good for the show. Second match, we get the wild card, and the wild card is Josh Alexander. Yeah, that needle's gonna very move, baby. Yeah, that's for sure. Anyways, Hangman Page faces a debuting Josh Alexander in AEW, but again, he loses. How does that make any sense? Like, how is that good? Whatever. Anyway, Hangman defeated Alexander. The match was whatever. And then Don Callis, Kyle Fletcher come out. Callis eventually, and then we see Josh Alexander delivers a power bomb to Hangman Page. And then Don Callis is pointing his head, get it? Oh, I'm smart or whatever. And that means that Josh Alexander has singly joined the Don Callis family. Whatever. I don't know. This is not a way to debut somebody, to be honest with you. Christian makes his return on AEW supposedly and tells Wayne to win this match against Commander, and then the Patriot won't be him, that he needs to bring the title home and prove himself. Blah blah blah. We then get the Hurt Syndicate. They defeat the Gates of Agony to retain the tag titles, whatever, a throwaway match. But then MJ comes out to try to basically, hey, let me be in this group, man. And we see MJF basically becomes the Godfather. It's like, hey, if you let me, you guys like me, and I really like y'all. Y'all may have an issue, but I think y'all like this. He basically brought out a bunch of hoes. Like, it's basically the Godfather gimmick, for crying out loud. He becomes the Godfather. And it's like, hey, if you guys, you guys just need the night with the ladies. And then Shelton Benjamin, so Lashley automatically declines no matter what. Shelton was tempted, but because of Lashley, he decided to turn no, even with the watch. MJF then still gives the watch despite Shelton declining, and Bobby still refused. But this is like showing MJF being humble basically. And it's like, hey, you know what? How about you women? You guys still have the night with the women and still think about it. So it was fun. This is fun. This was a fun segment. This is announced, and God, what the fuck? Who the hell cares? Will Ospreay defeats Konosuke Take a Shit to advance the finals of the Owen Hart Cup. A lot of smarts like this match because what are you talking about? This is a circus, you fucking retard. This was a long match, which Smarks obviously creamed their pants for because Get It is a Smarky indie match. That's why they liked this match. It was a Sparky fucking matchup. This was long, vanilla midget, fucking flipply bullshit, dangerous moves. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna act like a smart to like this match. I just don't. I'm sorry. It is what it is. The main event, we see, so Hook was injured or whatever. So he had to be replaced, and Powerhouse takes this match, and eventually we see who cares? The Ops, what they're called. They defeated the Death Riders, become the new Trios champion. They act like this was like they act like this is like, oh, guess what? The NWO finally loses, like Hogan loses to Sting, but it's like, Moxley's still a fucking champion. This is not like some big moment, for crying out. What are we doing? But anyways, they act like this was such a big moment, so they become the Trios champions with the help of Swerve Strickland and Will Nightingale. And then everybody shows up at the locker room and they celebrate with the Ops, acting like this is some big loss for the Death Riders. I will say this was not bad of a match. I will say the crowd really made the show that better. I will give credit to that, and definitely a better feel of the show. I will say that. The show wasn't terrible. I will say that. The show wasn't terrible. It just, just a bunch of indie garbage, really. What am I looking at? I'm just trying to scroll to, do Collision, for crying out loud. Now we move on to Collision. Collision starts with the Death Riders. They're upset after losing the trio titles. The Ops. Then Mox said, I respect Samoa Joe, and I mean, you got better than me last night, but then I challenged you. So he challenged him to a world title match at Double Nothing, which I'm not surprised that they're doing this match or leading to this match. I would think that they would probably try to do something with Swerve, because of, whatever, and they'd probably do some Texas Death Match, whatever. But great, we're getting Samoa Joe and Jon Moxley, which I'm not surprised they're doing, but whatever. Chris Styler and Jamie Hayter is announced for next week's Dynamite, which is set because of the Owen Hart Cup, whatever. And get it, I'm going to win, whatever. Kevin Knight defeats Lance Archer. Lance Archer's just a fucking jobber, fucking crying out loud. Konosuke Josh Alexander defeats Rocky Romero, Tomohiro Ishii, and then after the match, Trent Beretta makes a return and attacks Ishii with a wrench, and Rocky joins in the attack. So this is the new Don Callis family or whatever. Megan Bayne defeats some jobber bitches. I would love to see a duo with them, by the way. Well, hello. Adam Cole issues an open challenge for TNT Championship, and Claudio accepts. Okay, oh yeah, this show happened on Thursday on I think TNT. I don't even know when it happened, but it happened on Thursday, so it doesn't compete with WrestleMania because they know they would be dead. Adam Cole defeat Claudio Cesaro or whatever, and who cares? LFI, whatever this shit, defeat some jobber luchadors. What are we doing here? And then Ricochet warns Kevin Knight and Speedball they are rookies and whatever, and get it, and then challenge is made and blah blah blah. Nick Wayne then defeats Commander to become the new ROH TV champion, and he makes his becoming the youngest ROH champion. Like whatever. And I guess this is the main event, really. That was TNA. Who cares? Chris Stanlander and Julia Hart defeats Mercedes Moné and Harley Cameron. Why did the fuck does this match happen? Who the fuck cares? And this is how this is their opportunity. They're on a Thursday. I think this show is live, and yet they proceed to do dog shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You couldn't end the show with maybe with Adam Cole and I don't know, something with Samoa Joe and Moxley. What are we doing here? So this show obviously was just a dumpster fire of a garbage jobber show. Like, this is their opportunity to try to make people care about Collision, and no one really did do anything. This was basically, again, just, I don't know, it's jobber fucking shit. So yeah, what a different, definitely Dynamite was completely different, better, like definitely better than usual, I guess, a better feel. But this shit, man, like compared to Dynamite, man, this shit Collision was just shit. What the fuck? All right, so those are the two shows. So much for, again, a show that, taking over and breaking, WCW's record, which, again, these shows would not last long if it wasn't for Tony Khan's money, and they're not even on freaking TNT. And again, with Collision, I believe this is the only show that's on TNT. I believe it's like longer than Dynamite, if anything, on TNT. But again, it's just a fake record, for crying out loud. Until next time, peace out, bye, fuck this.